Hey guys, good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching, doing the trade review of just the larger levels and how to integrate them into your thinking process, right? So I'm going to start off with NQ and I'm going to go to ES. So this all starts with profile, take these levels off of profile. So first of all, let's just talk about NQ, then we'll go over to ES and we'll take it from there. So the beauty about this thing is the concept or the idea repeats over and over and over again, right? So we started off. So first of all, in the room, we don't trade till 9 a.m. Why? Because we don't like getting caught in these rips. So this area, this gray highlighted area between these two red lines, are our no trade zone. And really doesn't mean don't trade in there. It really means that unless you're willing to accept heightened risk, don't trade in there. Why? Because it can get traded through very quickly, very directionally in one way. Now, uh, let me give an example of that. If you thought we were going to drive straight up, well, then you look at this as a great trade. You're like, wow, why wasn't I long? It drove straight through here, right? On the other hand, if you were shorting, you got absolutely run over in this location as we drove straight through here. So as opposed to getting kind of this two-sided back and forth price action that we get in most areas, you tend to get this straight run through. So we have a no trade area, and what that saves is excessive stops, right? And really what we're trying to do is either shoot a trade from up here outside of that zone through to lower levels, or shoot a trade from down at these lower levels up through to higher levels, right? So that's what we use that zone for, and it creates really monster trades. Didn't on Friday because we opened up and that level actually held and pushed out, right? But on most days, that saves us an enormous amount of money. It also saves us mental capital because we're not overly trying to figure this location out, right? We know that it can get traded through easily one way or the other. So if you look at Friday morning coming in, there was two things to note. And the first thing is that overnight we were trending up, right? You will see that we were making higher highs and higher lows, really ever since Asia had started. So based on where we opened, you would have wanted to see a couple of things. So I'm going to make this bigger and stretch it out so it's easy to see. So the first question was, could we get underneath um, could we get underneath Thursday's low, right? So if we get underneath Thursday's low, the next target would have been to get to this anomaly, trade all the way through here. The purple line is about prior day's value area high. And then the final target would have been back into the volume point of control for NQ. So the first thing you'll see is in the first 5 minutes, these are 5 minute bars, we pressed in, they attempted underneath, and were immediately rejected. And this rejection started an open drive higher, right? So where did open drive higher go? Open drive higher went to the anomaly. Again, I print these levels every day. You'll see at the anomaly, we spent 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, where all the buying was absorbed. Finally, after 30 minutes of absorption, we were able to make a push above. You'll see the negative space above the zone. Backside test. Push out. Where's the next natural target? The single prints and prior day's high. So we push out of the zone up into the single prints, right? Then they come back. If you're going to short up here, what's your first target? Back to this anomaly, right? The other place would have been the 50-60 retrace. So 50-60 retraces are always mobile pieces, right? Because it depends on price action intraday. So you'll see we came back to the zone. You can see they tried to hold it top of the zone, push through, came into the 50 retrace. Normally we'll stop the traders out who buy the 50, push it into the 60, which we do right here. Back up into the anomaly, right? So it's tough when you get this anomaly. If you've been trying to push through upside anomalies or resistance zones through the last couple of weeks, you've usually ended up with a price action like this. In this particular case, we pushed back through, right? They got short squeezed into the end of the day, and you'll see again, the clear target was 12,430 once we were above this level. So a couple of things about that, right? So first of all, we did have trend day up. We had open drive higher, delayed by a bar or two, but open drive higher, and the 50-60 retrace held. And one of the clues that the trend day you're on or the open drive higher you're on is it'll get behind the 62 retrace, and that never happened. So that was the story on NQ, and really we did quite well. We caught a very nice short from up here, and we had two-sided trading in here in this 935, but we caught a beautiful short up here. Um, and got paid. Some members got paid all the way down. Some members just took the 20, 30 points that was offered almost immediately and rolled out. So I'm not going to discuss the specific setup here. I'll go through that later. So that's my 2 cents. Let's go look at ES. And then I'm going to build the charts for Monday. So here's ES profile. Let's see if I go through it. Where do I have? There it is. Okay, so here's ES. And on ES profile, you will see much a similar story. First of all, we were making higher highs and higher lows all night long coming into the US session. So let's spread this out. And you can see in this case, right, coming into the morning, we were trading above. The green line is prior day's high, right? And again, this whole area is a no trade zone for us, right? So again, trading at prior day's high is a retail trade location. So it can be choppy in this area. And again, I have no problem not trading in here because, first of all, the 8:30 to 9 o'clock generates a lot of stops. I find traders who generally have trouble putting together consistency are constantly trying to capture that 8:30 to 9 o'clock area and getting stopped out. And the room's all about consistency, right? So no trading here. First 5-minute bars down. Delayed open drive higher. Where does it go to? This weak anomaly. The blue zone is considered a weak anomaly. It is support resistance. I just expect it to get traded through. So you can see 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, almost an hour and a half of absorption. We make a push just before New York lunch to try to get above this 40, 45, which was a prior day's high, right? It cannot make it there. It gets exhausted. Again, these blue zones are not super strong support. They are support resistance, but not super strong. Fails, comes all the way back, and backside tests. And you'll see in this case, we came all the way back to the 62 retrace. It was actually quite pounding and just behind the 62 retrace. You'll see that. So for guys in the room, you'll see we never got any negative space behind that 62 retrace, which is what we want. They stopped out everyone at the 50, which is normal, right? And then at the end of the day, we push back into that blue zone. So this still remains, this still remains as a potential upside target. And so we'll see if they can hit that either in Sunday evening or Monday morning. And then you have single prints and prior day's highs that still need to be taken out here from 40.55 to 40.70. And we'll see. We don't know, right? And you don't have to know. You can just use the algo to set you up as you move through the day, right? So now let's go fix up the charts for Monday, right? So this is easy for me. It's early Sunday morning before I spend some time with the family. Let's start on the ES profile. Excuse me. This is the profile we need. So the first thing we're going to do is the easy stuff, right? So let's move the value area. The purple lines are the value area. So we know, first thing you know is when you set the value area, that area for Monday, that whole area can get easily traded through, right? You see there's a ton of volume up there. Everyone agreed on price, right? Your best trades will come outside of this area, either above or below, whether you're long or short, you won't get slipped through, right? So next we're going to delete this, and we are going to move the points of control, right? Great targets back in, horrible trade to establish a trade because it'll be extremely choppy in this location. We are going to, let's modify this. We will move prior day's high became the following day's low. We stopped one timing to the downside on ES and NQ, by the way. We want to create a support resistance zones where the prior day's points of control are. This has very high odds of getting a response the first time in. We want to still mark off where the remaining single prints are here. So we'll go from here to here. We'll extend that to the right. More single prints right in here. So I definitely expect some type of attempted response there at Friday's low. Between all those single prints need to get repaired. And that generally can often end up creating a good counter trading opportunity. There's a minor anomaly, but it's right on the edge of where the unfair pricing is. So I'm going to put a zone there from 39.32 to 39.26, right? I need to mark off prior day's high, so I'm going to copy and move this. So the green lines denote prior day's high and low. And so now we've got the volume point of control, chop, 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 don't trade there. Value area, right? Higher stop rate inside value area, and then I'd expect good opportunities from unfair pricing on both sides of this, both long and short in both areas, and then substantial resistance up in this 40.70, followed by 41.1475 to 41.21. And then if we look lower, right, we'll see that we've got the two primary anomalies with this 39.08 to 38.98 being the strongest of the two anomalies, and then we have what would currently be the bottom of the range at 38.55. We changed that to color orange. And since I am a day trader, I do not worry about where the market will be a day, a week, or a month from Monday. I just want to know what locations are likely to garner returns. So I'm just going to point out the highest odds locations relative to where we are, 40.14, so 38.39 would be about 150 points down. So starting at 38.39.50 area, 38.55, 39.08 to 38.98, right? And then the single prints here from 39.80 to 39.50 in general, and poking below 39.59 may get an attempt back up again. We'll use the algo to give us confirmation for the entry, and then I believe this will probably be the most difficult area to trade in. So we have areas above, areas below. Stay out of this 40.28 to 39.95 area in general, right? Unless you're willing to accept a higher stop out rate. And remember, you only need one or two really good trades through the course of the day to make a lot of money. So my next question would be, why would you mess with it? So we'll save this and I'll post these levels to the members in the room. And then let's go do NQ. So on the NQ profile, excuse me, got the wrong one. Okay, so on ES, you can see we shifted value higher. All right, so let's just go do a couple things really quick to make our lives easier. First of all, let's move this up. Here's the volume point of control, is that little gray line, and the TPO point of control is right below it. It's that little blue line. That makes a great target. Horrible place to establish a trade. If you listen to these rules, they'll help you. They'll save you an enormous amount of stops and a lot of money. So you will see here, oops, forgot to mark this off. Let's go back. This should be orange. We were not able to take it out. Still should be orange. Okay, next we have, let's see, I actually want to move this down to the volume point of control. Here to here. I'll leave the top TPO point of control empty. The volume is where it wants to come to in general. But the whole area, that 11,900 to 11,845, you should find a response out of there the first time in. Obviously, I can move value area low up. So now I've established a bounds for where the market can easily trade through, which would be 12,408 all the way down to 12,226, right? A ton of single prints here. So I'm going to take this, and you're going to see that I'm going to move this down. Get it just right. I'm going to go over here, copy and move to prior day's high, and you'll see that prior day's high right is at the beginning of a bunch of single prints all the way up to 12,481, right? So value area, prior day's point of control, single prints just above Friday's high, up to 12,481. I would expect exhaustion and or some type of counter rotation between 12,433 and 12,481.75, at least back to the point of control, right? Unless we just go on a rip open drive higher type of thing this evening, but any kind of two-way market, and we should get a push back towards 12,354. And then what you'll see here is I have a ton of single prints. So I'm just going to modify this. And this really, the market will want to re-auction at some point. We don't know when. But if you get below, if you get basically below 12,230, 12,220, all the way down to 12,065, this area wants to get repaired. You can see how little volume was put off in here. So the market will usually come back in and want to fix it, right? Market repeats this behavior over and over. And then we have now, this becomes an old 24-hour low. And so then our key areas become so now our key areas become this 12,689.50, 11,765 to 11,736. I'd expect a response there. I'd expect a response out of 11,855 to 11,845. And again, below 12,065 down to 12,016. Remember, we're in massive ranges, right? This completes all these single prints. We should get a response just underneath here back in. And the one timing again, meaning we have finally been able to trade above a prior day's high, and that's an indication of a possible change in character. I believe that change in character will lead to a balanced two-way market instead of straight down as we've been trading the last couple of weeks, and should create some really great trading opportunities. So anyways, this is Simon. I'm with Trade and Perform Coaching. If you'd like to visit the room, this is how you do that. You can visit us at, oh wow, let me pull it up really quick. tradeandperform@gmail.com, and just ask for a 3-day pass or membership to the room, and I am more than happy to help you. Okay, guys, I'm signing off. Have a great day. I will talk to you later.